Hello. I am back like I left a month ago because that is exactly how long it has been since my last upload. How are we doing? I am beaming with hypocrisy and inconsistency and laziness. Yes, I'm aware. And let's jump straight into it. I mean, you're either gonna do something about it or you're gonna sit down and keep complaining. So I'm gonna keep doing these uploads as often as I can and I need to, but how are we doing? How has the day been? How has the week been? The year been? It is October. It is really hot, and I am looking forward to, I don't know, clawing the last little bits of dignity I might have left by uploading a little bit more consistently. Now, in my previous video, I had highlighted quite a number of talking points, some of which do align perfectly with the feminist movement. And I did highlight misogyny as being one of the major drawbacks in maintaining a society where men and women are equal and are perceived equally. There are so many things surrounding this word misogyny, and other people might say a prejudice against women, bigotry, intolerance, a bias, whatever you may call it, it is still a disregard of the female sex. And my video was highlighted around the cultures and systemic issues around what is used to continue perpetuating the downplay and the lack of regard for female rights. Now, in contemporary times, despite there being advancements in gender equality and, female rights or women's rights, misogyny still remains heavily and insidiously embedded in our society today. Modern day women also do inadvertently contribute to the perpetuation of this misogynistic society. Of course, by the end of this video, I want you and me to come to an understanding that it is not just a problem that is spearheaded by men, but it is also a problem that is maintained and kept a problem because of our contributions as women in society. What I am trying to say is this: from an early age, societal norms and expectations for women have been very different from societal norms and expectations for guys. For women, you are expected to be all these things because it is important, it is cardinal. They are preparing you for a misogynistic society, or as they are basically preparing you to serve your man. Now, I am not against teaching young boys and girls life skills that will help them in the future. But what we don't understand when we teach these things to our young girls at a young age is that we are subtly reinforcing these gender roles. We are splitting gender roles. We are basically telling young boys and young girls where they belong in society. And henceforth, when people grow up, they will forever believe they belong in certain gender roles and they can never cross over. But if anything has proven us wrong, it is that from society to society, gender roles switch all the damn time. You will find tailors that are men and welders that are women and vice versa. It all changes. But because we are stuck in these traditional roles that reinforce gender roles, we keep on breeding a crop of women that are misogynistic to themselves. You see, women may not even realize how deeply ingrained these norms may be. Hence, it can be difficult to recognize misogyny in a society and even challenge it. I can go on and on mentioning traditional Zambian norms that continue reinforcing this misogynistic society. Hence why I keep telling you to say Zambia is inherently misogynistic, because the traditional practices that we keep practicing and teaching young girls keep reinforcing a society where women keep believing they belong in a certain subservient position to men. The cultural dances, the cultural practices, the cultural rites of passage that you have to go through before marriage, before when you reach puberty, when you are celebrating a child, it is very broad, yet it is still tailored to satisfying the man. Why? Why do we keep doing this to ourselves? Why do we keep contributing to a system that is bad for us? So when we talk of ceremonies or initiation practices such as when a girl gets her first period, or when a girl is taking chilangamlilo or taking food to her groom's house. We talk of different traditional ceremonies that in themselves have elements and aspects in them that I really do not agree with. Like, what is the point of having a girl crawl near the fire or hold utensils with her mouth or sleep on the ground to show gratitude to her husband? Look, I'm not questioning traditional roles here. I am not here to tell you to stop practicing them. Actually, I am asking you to question them, but it is when you start to question things that the real answers start to come through. It is when you start to see things clearly, when you question, when things start to make better sense. But I am not here to call out Zambian. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I fucking am. You know what? I was about to cut this clip, but yes, I am here to call out certain Zambian traditions and how problematic they are and how they continue keeping us in a subservient position. What the hell is that supposed to teach a woman into a marriage? How about you teach her financial skills so she doesn't squander her man's money or her own money? Teach her how to make her own money. Teach her financial freedom. Teach her bodily health. Teach her hygiene. Teach her how to cook, because that's a skill everybody needs to learn. Don't teach her how to crawl, how to hold utensils with. Anyway, I digress. Okay. All I'm trying to say is the more you start questioning, the more stupidity you start to see in a whole lot of these institutions that we have put so much of our faith in. These institutions that we even trust to teach our children. Away from traditional roles and ceremonies that, perpetuate these very unfortunate misogynistic standards, we go to media and pop culture. Media and pop culture is such a broad term, so of course I will be covering everything. So when you hear me say media and pop culture, best believe I am talking of everything from television to social media to magazines to movies to everything encompassing what you see. Everything that influences how you see the world, why you get your trendy stuff, that is what I am referring to. Now, what is the media perpetuating in regards to women? Well, their roles are limited to what their actual skills are, only emphasizing their beauty and their attractiveness in order to sell product. Here's a very beautiful example. Cars. Advertisement of cars is very much synonymous with a beautiful woman. Car companies will obviously use sex to sell a brand new car. Beer companies do it all the time. When you're trying to sell tickets for a concert, it is more likely that you will get more likes on your social media post. If you're using hot women, you're advertising a new bar, get a bunch of hot girls there. Now, a modern girl growing up in a modern society such as this one will see that as the standard to which women are held to. That is not a good thing, because she will forever grow up knowing that those are the roles she can fill as a young girl in society. In addition, institutional and systemic barriers continue to subjugate women and discouraging them from challenging the status quo. There are barriers in various workplaces, in politics, and many other things that women still have not penetrated due to these systemic and institutional barriers. Success in these various, societal domains to which the barrier of entry for women is limited becomes only a pipe dream for women that very few cross if they embody, the characteristics of a man. We have situations that happen in this country where women are appointed to certain positions of power not because they qualify, but because it shows a certain narrative. They want to sort of make it seen or make it known that they are for gender equality, but that's just, to shut them up. They don't really mean it. A perfect example would be appointing somebody who is qualified in a different field and putting them in a field completely parallel to what is theirs, all for the sake of proving that there's gender equality. You saw what happened. Dr. Nkanduluwa had no business being in fisheries or higher education. She was qualified in something completely different, but yet she was appointed because it was for the sake of gender equality that they put her there. So of course, just to add a little bit of equality dash, she was lucky enough to get that position. But I am sorry. We are limiting women's potentials by reducing the barrier to entry to these various societal domains. Look at what the Copper Queens are able to do in the field of football. Look at what women are able to do in the field of music, in other male-dominated fields as well. It is something that needs to be a matter of public interest, that women are able to do things that men are able to. We are at the precipice of a very interesting future where it is no longer battle of the guns but battle of the minds. And of course, I mentioned this in my previous video too, to say I am able to perform tasks that other people may inherently consider a male dominated field, because I am interested in video games, I am interested in coding and software. It does not mean I am less qualified as a man would be. It just means I am able to apply the same level of mental strain to understand what I am doing. And if you understand that the basis is competence and is no longer physical strength, as I previously alluded to in my previous video, then you will then understand that it is ours for the taking. I don't think you understood this, women. The future is ours for the taking. Because if you understand that the measure of strength is no longer physical strength, it is mental strength, it is how much you're able to learn, assimilate, and apply, then the future is yours for the taking. I mean that literally, figuratively, and in every sense that I can say it. So when we understand that the reason as to why women cannot penetrate these different societal domains that are also male dominated is because the barrier to entry has been made so ridiculous, then we cannot progress as women. As a matter of fact, we can never even be in a position to challenge these power structures that have been set up to repress us. So this unwillingness to challenge these power structures will also trickle down to just a fear of backlash. Women in themselves have a history of never challenging or talking back, or speaking out against certain systemic issues that are affecting them, for fear of being burnt at the stake, for fear of being ousted by their society, for lack of being taken seriously, for lack of representation. There have been so many barriers that have prevented women from speaking out against these various issues that they go through. But it is high time that we are no longer scared of the society that we live in, because I will reiterate by saying this: we are almost at the level in society where we're almost equal. So let's jump on this, because there's no time like the present. In the 60s, you couldn't do this, but this is, I think, a time where it is safer. Don't choose silence over confronting systemic misogyny in this country or the world at large. It is high time you speak up, because women have been shut up for the longest. So despite numerous efforts to curb the inherent misogyny that is existent and prevalent in our society, it still remains deeply and heavily ingrained in modern day society through our customs, through media, through the institutions and systems that we set up that are meant to protect certain institutions and systems. It is high time we foster an environment of awareness, of education, of encouragement for women. And of course, with the emergence of things like affirmative action, certain rights for young girls in schools have very much played a huge role in curbing the gap between the genders, between the two sexes. But of course, it has only gone so far. We need women to understand that they themselves also contribute to a misogynistic society. They need to know how much they contribute to further this bias, to further this intolerance of women. Because it is not only until we do that will we then understand the deep-seated problems that lie within a country that still thinks it's okay to sell your child. To overcome this complacency in women, there is only one thing: education, education, education. You think I am exaggerating with this thing? Well, guys, education is key. Educate women, you educate an entire world, an entire generation. If you have an educated mother, best believe she will value education and take you to school. It is that important. Awareness, everything. They need to be taught these things. We need to be taught these things, and therefore I am using this platform to teach you. So teach others, share, subscribe, like. Yeah, you know the drill. You know the drill. I'm not just trying to promote it, but I am. But yeah, you know what I mean, right? We need to teach women these things, because it is from learning from each other that we can curb these issues. Because it is only then, through education, that women will learn to challenge these structures that sustain this misogynistic society. That is all I had for you in this video. If you did like this video, be sure to leave a comment, leave a like, share, subscribe, do the thing, do the thing. You know how it goes. But as for now, until next video, I have been the loneliest sweet potato, telling you to stay safe out there. It is hot. Try to cool off and live life. Be free, because you're a free human being.